Hi there, how you doing? So I'm so excited because I started a series 2 videos ago. That's what I'll call it. And the first one was about, the things that stopped me from being great. I just mentioned 5 things. There was more. There was about 15 or 20 that I came up with, but I mentioned five for this exercise. And then the second video I dropped was 5 things that helped me to become successful. Now, the last one of the 5 was community. And I said that I was going to share deeper as to who we must have in our community for us to be great. Now, there are 5 things I'm also going to share again today of people that we must have in our community that would help us be great. The first one is a comforter. And this is it's not in levels of hierarchy. I just put a few words, words together. And before I carry on with who a comforter is, or who the comforter that I needed, my name is Adiola. And I hope that you've been enjoying my series so far. If you have, please subscribe. We're gunning for 1,000 subscribers within the next month. And I know that you can help us get there. I can trust you to help us get there. Click on the notification bell beneath as well, so that you get our videos when they drop. And finally, please share me with other people. So right back to comforter. So I realized that I needed somebody who could just sit down with me and sit in my should I say in my pain at the time. I had all kinds I was one of those complainers, and that's one thing that can stop you from being great. I was a complainer of life. All you just needed to say was, Adiola, how are you? And I go into this journey of how XYZ. But I felt like, my mother really came through for me as that comforter. And it's not that she will sit down and say, okay, let's cry together or be in pain together, even if that also kind of helped, cry with those who cry, right? But it was like she just held up space for me. And I would leave and go and spend time with her, spend some days with her, and just sit down with her, and we'll talk about everything else but what the problem was. And sometimes I would just find myself talking about what my challenge was, and I was like a broken record, a looping tape. I'll repeat myself, and she'll just sit down there and listen, and she'll smile, and she'll ooh, and she'll ah. And so I think it's important to have a comforter in your circle, in your community, that can, share space with you. That's the way it was for me, and I feel like, that's the only way I can describe it. The second person, once again, no hierarchy. It's a confronter. So you're wondering, comforter and confronter, right? Yes, you need somebody that can tell you, okay, you know what? Let's stop this right now. You've said enough. You have repeated enough. You have cried enough. There's something I used to do. If I felt small pain somewhere, I'll go on Google and go and check what is the possible problems with a pain in your neck. And you know what Google will do for you, right? It will show you every disease on earth. And then what then starts happening is you start to have symptoms of those diseases, and then you start going into panic mode. You need a confronter. That confronter for me was my sister. She would call me and say, what's all this nonsense you're doing to yourself? You know that there's nothing wrong with you. Why do you keep going back to Google to go and learn all these things that would then put you in a state of panic and all of that? You need a confronter that can say to you, okay, you kind of messed up in that space. Maybe not at the time when you feel bad, but they're able to say to you, no, that thing you did, nah, you can do better. And then they bring out the better in you, not the worst in you. Because we do have friends who bring out the worst in us, because they're also dealing with their worst. And so their worst, connecting with your worst, is problem. And that's why I'm one person who says the biggest parties are pity parties. I don't want to spend time in any pity party. And miserableness likes companionship. However, you need a confronter that can stand up to you and tell you this thing you just did was completely messed up and you've got to make amends. You also need a challenger, somebody that can challenge you to be the best version of yourself, because they're doing the same as well. There's healthy competition, right? I recently started learning how to swim, and I had one of the days I'd done like 6 classes, and I was feeling really cool because now I could swim from end to end, and all of that, something I couldn't do in the past. And one of the days my coach asked one of my friends to join me in the pool and let her push me, so that I could swim faster. And it did help because now I had someone else I was looking at and looking up to, because she put in her best. So I wanted to put in my best. And that's what a challenger can do for you. Not somebody that you're comparing yourself to negatively. Not somebody you're competing and saying, I must bring you down and pull you down for me to rise. No. But somebody that both of you are going together on the journey. Whilst they're working on themselves and bringing out the best version of themselves, you're doing the same as well. And it's healthy competition. The 4th person you need in your circle is a counselor. Don't we all need counselors? Somebody who's wise, who can say certain things to you that you never thought of. Someone who has wisdom for days, someone who is a constant learner. I pride myself as a counselor. I call myself a counselor because I'm consistently, the person you meet this week is not the same person you'll meet next week, because of what I've exposed myself to on a continuous, repetitive basis. So I pride myself highly as a very wise woman and a counselor. You need someone like me in your circle, a counselor that can just open your eye, have a bird's eye view of so many different things, and can give you certain solutions to a challenge because they see the bigger picture. Yes, you need a counselor in your community. And lastly, you need a champion, what's the word now? A celebrator. That's it. That's why I said champion. You need a celebrator. Yes, somebody that celebrates your every win. So you guys, you write goals together, and as you are taking them down, you are going out and having a good time. They celebrate every win. There's this series on Netflix. What's it called now? The Sweet Magnolias, something like that. There's 3 women in that series who are friends in the same community, who have families. They've got their challenges. A lot of stuff revolve around them. And they used to sit down together once every week and drink together and just speak freely. It was a safe zone. No judgment, nothing. I think that's one of the best series I've seen so far, because it just showed you how good friendship can be and how it can help you become the best version of yourself. So these 3 women would always, even when they fight, they will rally around themselves and make sure that they settle their quarrels. They were there for each other. They were there celebrating each other's wins, celebrating each other's children's wins, celebrating each other's husbands. It was so pure and sweet to watch, and that's the kind of friendship that I want to have, and I desire to have, and I choose to have. And that's the kind of friend that I am also, because if you're not some of these things also, you can't attract people who will give you some of these things. So you want to strive to be all. You want to strive to be a counselor. You want to strive to be a challenger. You want to strive to be a comforter, a confronter, and finally a celebrator. So you celebrate everybody's wins. If you have a circle or community, you are there first. You are there to help, you are there to give your support. You're there to hug. You're there to cry if we need to cry together. You're there to laugh if we need to laugh together. You carry them on your head as though it was yours, even though I'm not saying that you should drop you and pick up other people. I'm saying that you give from your overflow. And if you have these people in your community, I 99.9% guarantee that you would be a very, very wholesome, successful person. And there will always be people around you to celebrate you. And everybody wants to be celebrated. Everybody wants connection. Every human being, even animals, wants connection. And so you see them going on top themselves, and everybody wants it. So if your community I'm sure there are other things that you can mention, but if you're in a community with 5 of these kind of people in your community, I'm sure your life will be better. And who doesn't want a better life? At least I do. I hope I've been able to help with these 3 series back to back that I've put out, of the things that stopped me from being great, of the things that helped me, and the people that also helped me. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful life, and let's get ready for the end of 2023 and ending it in a beautiful way. I love you. Love and light.